It's officially my birthday week. I turn 44 tomorrow. I cannot believe it. Such a weird number for me to even say. I've never really loved my birthday because December birthdays are not really fun. Everyone's always too busy with the holidays, so I often just let it go without doing much. But this year, though, I decided I was going to plan a special day for my birthday. The kids are playing hooky, they don't know it yet, and we're going to see the Radio City Christmas Spectacular. I'm kind of obsessed with the Rockettes, and I love the city at Christmas, so happy birthday to me. And also this week, we are talking about another thing I'm kind of obsessed with, well, more passionate than obsessed, but helping working moms find their purpose outside of motherhood. And if they're unhappy at their job, help them find their purpose by pursuing something they are passionate about. And we are kicking it off this week with a quote by Dr. Martin Luther King. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step.
Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life's weekly empowering episode of Monday's Motivational Mindset. And you know what that means. It's time to kickstart your week with a boost of inspiration, positivity, and a whole lot of motivation. Working moms, I get it. Mondays can be tough. We all know that. But they're also a chance for a fresh start, a new opportunity, and the perfect day to set the tone for a successful week ahead. I'm Carrie Pat, your host and fellow working mom. Every week, I'll be sharing a motivational quote and we'll break it down, share stories, and uncover the wisdom it holds for our unique journey as working moms. So whether you're getting ready for work, making those school lunches, or just enjoying a quiet moment alone, let's dive into this week's dose of motivation. Let's make this Monday count.
Today's quote is, "You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step," by Dr. Martin Luther King. As working moms, we're juggling so many things every day that it sometimes feels like we're just on autopilot. Most days, we're focused on just getting through the next task, and the idea of pursuing something more, something that's just for you, feels impossible. Maybe you've asked yourself questions like, who am I outside of motherhood in my career? What's my bigger purpose? How can I even begin to explore that when I could barely get through my to-do list? And here's the kicker. Those questions can feel so overwhelming because when we think about finding our purpose, it feels like we need to have the whole plan laid out absolutely perfectly. The path to something more can look like a giant staircase that goes up into the unknown, and we have to convince ourselves that we need to see every single step before we begin. But here's what I want you to hold on to and take away from today. You don't have to see that whole staircase. Just take the first next step. I love this quote because it really simplifies the process of going after any dream, any goal, and to find your purpose. It reminds us that it's not about knowing the entire journey before we begin. It's about taking small, intentional actions and trusting that the next step will reveal itself when it's the right time, when it's God's timing. For working moms like you, that staircase might be starting a side hustle or passion project you've been dreaming of, finding a hobby that brings you joy and identity outside of work and being a parent, pursuing that promotion at work, or shifting into a completely different career that fulfills you, exploring personal growth through reading, journaling, or my favorite, taking courses, prioritizing your health and making time for fitness or mental well-being. And that should be on everyone's goal next year, because if you don't have good mental health, you are never going to be able to find balance. But whatever your staircase looks like, remember this: clarity comes from action, not from overthinking. When we get stuck in our heads, waiting for that perfect moment or that perfect plan, we never take the first step. And that first step, that is where the magic happens. Let's be honest, taking that first step can be really scary because it requires us to move into the unknown and into the uncomfortable, and no one likes being in the uncomfortable. You might be asking yourself, what if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I don't have the time? It's those fears and those self-limiting beliefs that really hold you back in this life. And I'm seriously speaking from experience. I didn't realize how many fears I actually had and how limiting they made my life. But here's the thing: you don't need to be perfect. You don't need all the answers. You just need to begin. Think of the first step as giving yourself permission to explore, to try, and most importantly, to grow, even if it's messy. And I promise you, it is going to be messy at some point. Even if it's small, the first step might look like writing down your dream or goal in a journal, carving out 10 minutes of me time each day to brainstorm and learn, signing up for that course, that event, that workshop that you've been thinking about, having a conversation with someone who inspires you, or setting that timer for 15 minutes and just starting something with no strings attached. Small steps may feel insignificant, but they create momentum, and that momentum builds confidence. And before you know it, you're not standing at the bottom of that staircase anymore. You are climbing it. And honestly, The sky's the limit on your staircase. So trying to picture what's on top is really just limiting yourself. You have no idea where your journey will take you. So my challenge for you this week, mamas, is to identify one small step you can take towards your dream, a goal, or a purpose that's been on your heart. It doesn't have to be big or life-changing. It just needs to move you one step forward. And here's how you can get started. First, write it down. What's one thing you've been wanting to try or to explore? And be honest with yourself. Two, break it down. What's one tiny step you can take this week to move in that direction? And it could be as small as making a list, sending an email, or searching up an idea. Third, do it. Put it on your calendar, commit to it, and celebrate yourself when you actually do it. And an example of this would be if your dream is to start a blog, your first step could be choosing a name or brainstorming topics. If you want to prioritize self-care, your first step could be scheduling 15 minutes for self-care every day. If you've been dreaming of a career shift, your first step might be updating your resume or reaching out to a mentor for advice. So mamas, your dreams and your purpose, they matter, and it's okay to start small. You don't have to see that whole staircase. Just trust yourself enough to take that first step. And when you do, come on over and tell me about it in our Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Let's cheer each other on as we take one step closer to living the fulfilling, purpose-driven lives we were made for. You got this. If you don't already follow the show, take a second and hit that follow button so you never miss another episode. Sending you so much love and light. Until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Carrie Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life or come on over and hang out in our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Carrie Pat.